It's 5 o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, welcome in, everybody, on this Thursday Patrick Johnson Show. Our final go-around this week at 5 o'clock. We'll be on the air tomorrow at 6 for the Patrick Johnson Show. But looking forward to that. We're going to have Terrence Copper on the show with us tomorrow. So T-Cop will be in the hizzle. Dom, are you producing that show tomorrow? Dom Szoke, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, everybody. No, I will not be producing that show. I believe that'll be Philip. I'll be in for high school football right after.
Okay. I meant because we're going to do it in the morning. You know, we do it in the morning on Fridays. And we do for the video audience. Yes.
I understand that. I haven't got talked to about that much. I do have class right after Talk of the Town, so we'll see about that. That's really the only reason I wouldn't be able to do that.
Philip the Ref Pilkington's going to have to step up tomorrow, it looks like. Or Buscemi's going to have to put on something other than the Oshkosh bagoshes that he wears. And do a little stuff himself there. Hey, big hello to the great one and only Big Hen, Henry Hinton, who is celebrating a birthday today. The Big 7-0. There was cake in the studios, Dom. Did you get any of the cake?
I probably got way too much. My stomach's actually hurting right now.
Oh, really? You had a bunch of cake?
Yeah, they even want me to take the rest of it home. I might be taking half a cake home.
Are you serious? Half a cake?
Yeah, there's a lot left, and they just said they're not going to have it. So Jana just told me, why not take it home?
Do you have roommates, Dom?
Yeah, I got
place. You were homeless for part of the summer, but you have a home now. Do you have roommates?
I have two roommates. Both of my friends from Wilmington transferred over here, so now I got some friends to live with. I'm really excited.
You got some buds? Okay, now, see, do they like cake? I'm sure they would. I think you three growing boys could put some cake down, right?
Yeah, I was planning on doing that and, surprising them. Maybe they can surprise me with something at some point. But, right now for me, I'm giving them a little surprise, some cake.
Well, there you go. Well, then I think you take the cake with you. Just don't leave it in the car because it'll melt today. It's another scorching, awful, just terrible day. It's Africa hot out there. I was walking earlier, Dom, a little exercise. And after about 20 minutes, I said, ooh, I'm going to have to pack this in.
I believe you, man.
It was rough.
Walking to class, back is totally sweaty with my backpack on. I'm sitting in class for 2 hours with a sweaty shirt.
That's not a good look. That isn't a good look, Dom. It's not a good look doing that.
Everyone else is doing the same thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, who are you trying to impress, right? Who are you trying to impress? Dom Szoke is going to have a 94.3 The Game sports update and Pirate report for you a little bit later on in the hour. We've got a huge episode today. It's Thursday, so that means Jim Szoke will be visiting us from the Panthers Radio Network and also the East Carolina Sports Network. Jim will be on the call of ECU Marshall at 4 on Saturday from Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. And he will be on the Panthers broadcast in Atlanta the next day as the Panthers open the season down in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Always Anonymous text line says swamp ass. That is a good point. I didn't get that there today, but there's another Always Anonymous text line. You exercising? What the heck? Yeah, I mean, you got to move. If you move a little bit or move, then you'll be able to hopefully move later in life. Got to move. Can't be sedentary. Got to move. Got to move. Are you aware of swamp ass, Dom, by the way? Are you
very,
familiar
very
with this
aware.
phenomenon? Okay. Well, apparently Dom has it. Always anonymous texter who sent that in. All right. We are also going to have Rene Ingoglia from ESPN College Football. He's an analyst there, played at UMass and in the pros with the Bills. Rene's been with ESPN now for a good number of years doing ESPN College Football, and he'll be on the assignment for this week. ESPNU when ECU hosts Marshall. So we're going to talk to him coming up in just a little bit as well. That'll probably be our second half hour. I think we're going to get Szoke next segment. So that's the layout for today. Don't forget, tomorrow, 5 o'clock, it'll be the Logan Zone right here with Coach Logan. He'll be in the studio live, and we will have the Patrick Johnson Show for you on the radio side at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Terrence Copper will be our guest. We will go at 10 a.m. tomorrow for the video audience on X, Twitter, whatever the hell it's called now, Facebook, and YouTube. So do make note of that. All right. Let us go and jump 2 feet in while we have some time before we get Szoke on with our Pirate Report.
And now, Patrick Johnson with today's Pirate Report on the flagship station of the ECU Pirates, 94.3 The Game.
All right. Let's see here. Coach Houston speaking to the media yesterday and talked about balancing the heat and the prep.
It is a balance. It's a struggle right now. You know, it's we went about as short as you can go the last 2 days and still get in what you got to get in, but it's tough. It's a huge challenge right now.
Saturday.
Both teams are going to play in the same weather. We got to get recharged. That's why I told them they got to be doing a great job with their nutrition and their hydration, their sleep right now. Got to get our bodies refueled for Saturday.
That's the big part of it. Got to make sure you're hydrated and you're eating right and getting plenty of rest, even in these hot conditions like this. More from Coach Houston on Marshall's defensive line.
I think their defensive front's very good. You know, those 4 guys, they can all 4 rush the passer. Linebackers are very active. So it's going to be a challenge on Saturday.
More from Coach Houston on preparing for an up-tempo offense that the Thundering Herd like to run.
We're preparing for that. Offense did a good job with, you know, doing a little tempo drill at the beginning of practice to help our defense. We've been trying to get the scouts to operate as fast as they can. So our kids are working to get prepared for for the tempo on Saturday.
And Donnie K on not giving up any sacks this past Saturday.
I know that Mason and Alex's mothers were very pleased that they didn't have to do any medical treatment with that. I mean, they might have been a little concerned going into the game. Yeah, we know, you're right. You find something to build on. And there were things. I mean, it probably doesn't look that way to the average person because there wasn't a lot of results. But obviously it's a process.
On the process of developing the team, more from offensive coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick.
Coach Houston and our whole philosophy, you know, I don't know if he ever talked to the team about winning the game. Not that we weren't trying to win the game, because we're absolutely trying to win the game, but it's just more about the process. It's very much the Belichick, the Nick Saban. You know, they've won a few, you know what I'm saying, a couple championships there. He's won a few, you know, as well. So it's more about the process. I mean, you know, we talk a lot about, hey, let's have a good meeting today. You know, what does that mean? Pay attention, take good notes, ask some good questions, watch the tape, let's learn something. You know what I'm saying? Let's correct something and don't make the same mistake again.
More from Donnie Kirkpatrick, who says that the Pirates should have been winning after the first quarter at Michigan.
We had some stuff in the first quarter. I don't know that we could have beat them. I'm not going to go make that statement, you know, and get them all riled up or whatever. But in the first quarter, we should have been winning the game. You know what I'm saying? We got the ball. We had the right play on the first play, and we didn't throw the pass. It was a pass, and we ran it. Okay, that's probably not a good idea.
All right, let's go to the quarterback situation, and Dom, just make a note. We'll probably get to the Blake Harrell cuts tomorrow, and add in there we need to get some Marshall cuts queued up also. So make a note for Pilkington. Will you do that?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Dom. The correct answer. All right, Donnie Kirkpatrick on needing both guys at quarterback.
We talk every day, and we kind of go back and forth, I guess, a little bit. But what I've said time and time is right now I think we need both guys. I think we need both guys.
And he talks about the drop passes in the game.
Our best players dropped the balls. But then everybody except Justin Hardy, I think, did that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Hardy ever dropped one. You know, I really don't know. But everybody else I've ever had has dropped at least one. So, you know, jokingly said, hey, yeah, you spent your one in the first game. Now you got to go. But we did. We had 2 balls dropped that would have put us in scoring position. And so those were disappointing. You know, was proud of the throw. That was kind of the typewriter effect that we suffered from. When we protected well and he threw it well, we dropped a couple. You know, when we didn't protect well, the guy was wide open. Now you assume he would have caught it because that's the way we are. You know, he was ready to throw it. He'd made the right read. He was stepping that way. So football is putting it all together.
All right, more from Donnie K here before we go to break. He says he's blaming himself for Mason Garcia's start.
I just blame myself in that I must have emphasized, don't try to win the game yourself. You know, when you're going into that kind of environment, first game, you know, let's don't beat ourselves. You know, they remember what you say last. I think they remember what you emphasize a little bit, and he did. And I don't want to sit here and talk about him so much, but early, I thought it would relax him if we let him throw it down the field, because that's what he does really well. So the first play, he should have chunked one 40 yards down the field, and he was trying to I don't want to mess up a little bit, I think too much. And the reason that we made the change was just for that reason, to say, hey, we're not putting you out there just to stand there and hand it off. You know, there are some RPO opportunities here that you're really, really good at. I thought we had the game plan set to fit what he did well. When he came back, then I thought he did that. I thought he was more relaxed, and he was kind of like, well, hell, they've already taken me out once. So, you know, once you've gotten that first scolding or whatever, you've gone through that, you're better at it the next time.
Yeah, I think that was a good sign to see. Mason looked a lot more comfortable second half. This is Donnie Kirkpatrick on how they know which quarterback should be on the field.
It could be about who's completing passes. It could be about who's making runs, but it's really probably more about who's moving the chains, who's moving the ball, who's scoring some points. And so it's like any other sport you figure out who's hot. Sometimes it's just the feel, you know what I'm saying? After so many years, you just can see it in their eyes. You can just kind of tell by their attitude, you know, where they're at. And you get that feeling for this guy's, you know, he's feeling it. Let's get him the ball.
All right, that'll do it for today's Pirate Report. Let's go now to a break. When we come back, Jim Szoke, he'll be on the air beginning at 3 o'clock. Coming up on Saturday on this station, and also 107.9 WNCT for the East Carolina Sports Network. They will have coverage with the pregame leading you in to the kick at 4:02 between East Carolina and Marshall. We're taking a timeout, and we're coming back with Szoke on the Pirates and Panthers. Oh, my.
R&D Brewing is proud to partner with the ECU Pirates, and now you can enjoy Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of ECU Athletics. Pirates Brew is a carefully curated light beer that embodies the spirit of ECU, a refreshing and easy drinking light beer. Pirates Brew by R&D Brewing is available now at grocery stores, local retailers, and at ECU athletic events.
Head over to your favorite store and enjoy a nice Pirates Brew today, or else you'll walk the plank. Hand me another Pirates Brew.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Just because voice-over IP telephones are the latest technology in the telephone world doesn't mean they're the right choice for you and your business. Whether your internet provider is unable to support a voice-over IP phone system, or you don't have a need for high-tech features and simply want to stick with a traditional system, Spain Telecom is here to help. Spain Telecom offers a variety of services to keep your business connected and competitive. We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business, a system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2006 and let Spain Telecom help you with your communications needs.
You ready for this?
Oh, I'm very ready. Okay, ready?
Ready? Streaming to the world at 943thegame.com. This is the Patrick Johnson Show. Now in all his glory, here's the P-Man.
Okay, coming up on Saturday, coverage begins with our Pirate Game Day Countdown. Live from outside the Town Bank Tower. Looks, we might be in the Pirate Club section under the stadium. It's just going to depend on the weather. It could be a little dicey with the rain, so we'll see. But we'll be there live on the ground, as it were. Myself, Terrence Copper, Joe Sampson, Stephen Igo, and company. We will be bringing you ECU and Marshall coverage in the pregame of that. Got great guests stopping by, and we got a great guest right now. Every Thursday we talk with Jim Szoke, and the added bonus this year is we're talking to Szoke about the Pirates as well, which is a good thing. Szoke, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Patrick. How are you?
Doing great. Nice to talk to you again, and thanks for hopping on with us here this afternoon. Szoke, the news that just kind of broke, and I know you follow some of this for some other work you do, but Tez Walker denied by the NCAA, so he'll have to miss the entire year. Mac Brown went scorched earth on the NC2A with a statement. So, you know, we have guys that are playing several years now. Some are playing seventh year of college football and different schools. I mean, I guess you kind of feel for this kid, don't you?
Well, you do, because they've been asking for a long time, first of all. They've been asking for months about, the appeals process. And as you're reporting it, it's just happening here on Thursday after they already played their first game. So I don't understand the timing of why they couldn't gotten this done, prior to the season kicking off. And now you're into the regular season, getting ready for week 2, and you get this news on Thursday. And, Bubba Cunningham also chiming in and talking about, all the many times they tried to get this advanced down the road, and with these ridiculous rules that are in place, like you said, of kids are there for a long time and transfer eligibility and all this stuff. I mean, it's pure craziness.
Yeah, more on this, I'm sure, and it's got the dander up of some of the North Carolina sports. Boy, there's some fired up people now that are reporting on these teams. I've never quite it's kind of funny. Anyway, another story for another time. Jim Szoke with us here. All right, Szoke, Pirates up at Michigan, and seemed like a lot of missed opportunities. Don't know if that would have made a difference in the outcome. It might have made the Pirates might have hung in there a little more, but I think it was a young team that, especially early on, had some stage fright.
Yeah, I think so. I think I think you're right. First of all, that it could have been a closer game. I don't think that's a game they were close to winning. And we know that Michigan basically sat their starters in the fourth quarter. But there were times in there where ECU absolutely dropped passes, untimely penalties, self-inflicted wounds. Obviously you look at that 37-yard run by Corum. We also saw everyone do their 111. Just takes one missed assignment. and something that's a couple-yard play or less becomes a big play. And so, I think in some ways, big plays like that look worse than what they were as far as a team. It was just a missed play here and there. And I think, you do that, though. You play against that opponent with that personnel the first week. Now you move into the rest of your schedule, and you can certainly learn from that, and you're never going to face personnel like that again the rest of the year. They very well may win a national championship. Obviously, they've been in the Final Four the last 2 years. But there were some good things, I think, at the defensive line, that goal line stand they made with the starters out there on Michigan's side. There were some other good moments, I thought, on defense out there, too. Obviously, overall, the whole rushing defense for the day to hold them under 4 yards per carry is ridiculous, considering how good they are at running, but they make you pay for it on the pass side. And then what you were talking about at the beginning with the quarterback play there, but the nice thing was Alex Flynn came in, was solid, and then when Mason came back in, looked much improved, and the way they wanted him to look at the beginning of the game. So, the NFL, we get 3 preseason games with the Panthers. These guys get a spring game, and they get practices and all that, so you never know till you get out there in a live game to see what exactly it's going to look like.
Jim Szoke, who's the voice of the Pirates this year in football on radio, also at the Panthers Radio Network, joining us. He'll be in town for the Pirates and Thundering Herd, who will match up on Saturday for the ECU home opener. Jim, have you been to Dowdy-Ficklin to do a game, or just as a fan at any point? I know you've been here forever, so have you ever made it down east for a game? I can't forget if you said this or not.
No, I've not been to a game before. So my first Pirates game was the one in Ann Arbor, and my second Pirates game will be my first one at Dowdy-Ficklin. So I'm excited to see just all the traditions and the Pirate Walk and the Purple Haze and all the things that happen. So I think it's going to be fun. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm learning every week more and more. I find more and more barbecue places. I find more and more cool traditions of what's going on out there in Greenville. So yeah, I'm excited about getting this first this home game and this first Dowdy-Ficklin experience.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it'll be fun. You'll work with Kevin Monroe, Macy O'Donnell, David Horn, Philip the Ref Pilkington in the studios anchoring the scoreboard desk. So it's a cast of thousands. Dom, who's producing today, will be producing from the studios. So a lot going on, a lot of moving parts with the East Carolina Sports Network. All right, Szoke, you've talked with some of the players. You've talked with some of the coaches this week from the Pirate side of things. What is their feel going into Saturday?
Yeah, I just talked with Blake Harrell and Donnie Kirkpatrick and, of course, Coach Mike Houston about, 2.5 hours ago or so. And, I think, obviously they're on the Marshall. We've been talking about Michigan all this week, and there are things that they're going to learn from all this stuff. And, they know where the areas are that they want to be able to improve this week, and a lot of it's just self-scouting. And it's another great running back coming in, as we know. So you saw the 2 great ones last week, obviously with both Edwards and Corum last week. And folks remember Rasheen Ali from 2 years ago and what turned out to be a terrific win at the very end for ECU to get that 42-38 victory. So I think that's the key as far as what the defense is facing offensively, is how to slow down Rasheen Ali, who I think will be playing on Sundays in the NFL next year. I mean, he's just a terrific player. Probably their quarterback, Cam Fancher, presents a dual threat as far as what he can do running and throwing, but not to the extent that J.J. McCarthy was at all. Much more probably of a risk for the defense as far as the running part. I think probably more short passing is what they're going to expect. Ball comes out quickly, that kind of thing. And then for ECU, the fact that now we know for sure that you're down a couple of receivers this week. It's going to be, get the ball into the hands of your playmakers. I think more Javius Bond will happen this week. I think we'll probably see, a bigger day from Shane Calhoun at the tight end position. Jari Patterson and Jalen Johnson are kind of your explosive receiver playmaker guys. So I think, this week is more about that. Of course, Rajay leading that running back room. But I think, they're excited to get, more of Javius Bond. He had 7 touches last week. I think they'd love to see that be upped quite a bit this week.
We talked about the defense, or you brought it up, Jim. Who impressed you on Saturday?
Well, I think, again, when you look at what happened up front there, but also, Mike Edwards had a great game at linebacker, and they're excited about what B.J. Davis can do in this role. He had those 12 interceptions at South Carolina State. So I think in this game with the quick passing and so forth, I think, B.J. Davis may play a big role in this one as well. Obviously, Julius Wood is one of your best players on defense as far as the secondary goes, but he has some hits and misses as far as his play last week, to answer your question about how it went last week overall. But I think it's great to get Jack Powers back after they incorrectly called the targeting call, so it gives you some depth behind Jeremy Lewis, who's obviously very terrific as well. I'll be interested to watch, too, the one corner spot with IBM and Tymir Brown to see how that keeps hashing out. It's still the same order, but I think it'll be interesting to see those two kind of share a lot of reps at that corner position moving forward to see where they go. I know they were big on what Taylor Jackson did this past week. His name came up quite a bit. I mean, for a guy who just made his first start in the bowl game last year, smart kid, knows everybody's job on defense. And, one of those guys that's been here has earned that position as a starter. So I thought at the Mike position, they were really happy with what they got out of Taylor Jackson.
I thought from a physicality standpoint, Szoke, especially on defense, the Pirates matched up pretty well last Saturday. And I think they're going to have to again this week.
Yeah, I didn't think they got shoved around. I mean, you never know in a game like that what it's going to look like. And, they loaded the box and, again, did a really good job in stopping the run because you have to do that first. Otherwise, if you just lay back and try to fend off the pass, they're going to gouge you for 7, 8, 10 yards per carry down there. Yeah, so you talk about the physicality down in the trenches, back to Deontay Johnson, Elijah Morris in the middle of that defensive line. A lot of credit to them and what they were able to do in there. And Sarad Ware has gotten a lot of good reviews about the way he played last week, too. So I think the interior of the defense did a good job as far as the physicality on the defensive side of it goes. I thought offensively, too, another guy has been talked about a lot by the coaching staff, and you've heard it with your show on Monday, Dustin Hall. I mean, for a guy who's played a game here, I mean, I asked the coach today after we got done with the interview, said, who are your leaders? And on defense, he had this long list. And in offense, it's Rajay Harris and some others, whoever your quarterback is. But a name that popped up right away, Dustin Hall, who just got here. So that says volumes about, just the way he plays and the way he's regarded on that offensive line.
All right, let's hit some Panthers. Of course, not only will you hear Szoke on this station at 107.9 WNCT on Saturday, but you'll hear him on Sunday on our sister station, Talk 103.7 WTIB. Will be part of the Panthers Radio Network broadcast. This is the first double dip for you, Szoke. It was easy last week. Just zip up to the big house, zip on back, hop in the car. It was easy. This week, though, we begin the logistics and all of that, don't we?
And just to clarify, by easy, it was a 4-hour drive to Greenville, a flight to Ann Arbor, flight back to Ann Arbor, 4-hour drive back to Charlotte. But yes, that was, you're right. By comparison, this is probably actually my most difficult one of all because of the later kickoff, being a 4 o'clock kickoff. There are flights that leave out of Raleigh early in the morning the next day where I could fly to Atlanta. I don't trust it. I won't sleep if I know I got to be at the airport like at 3, if they're going to board that plane at like 4:15. So I'm going to drive, and you probably have done that at some point in your life, that drive or something close to it. That drive is going to happen after the game down to Atlanta and get in the middle of the night there. And then, we'll do the game in Atlanta and come back. But the good thing for you guys and the ECU listeners is you're always on the front end. You always get full energy. There's no energy drinks needed. I'll be sleeping as late as I can on Saturday morning, so I'm going to be hopping off the walls. Sunday is going to take the third cup of coffee or so, get through the pregame, get through the ball game, color commentary, and all that stuff. But just know ECU is always on the front end of that. Always my attention focused on that first.
Yeah, there you go. Is that door purple yet? No, I'm kidding. All right, here's couple things.
I thought you were coming by. I thought you were dropping by Lowe's and you were going to come do this for me. But then I don't trust you because you have that coral door still.
Yeah, well, that's and you know what I was told the other day? We need to get it touched up this winter. All right, wide receiver DJ, because if we can't spend money, Jim, it's not. There's just no fun being had. All right, wide receiver DJ Chark and Deshaun Williams didn't participate in practice yesterday. What's their status for Atlanta?
DJ Chark did not practice today, so that's looking dicey. I would say hamstrings are always a little more trepidation about those because they can seem okay and then they can be re-injured. So you always tend to give it a little bit more time. So I doesn't look good. I'll put it that way as far as DJ Chark goes. Adam Thielen didn't practice today. He practiced limited yesterday with an ankle, but I view that more as let's get him completely healthy and ready to play on Sunday. So I didn't think that was like a downgrading as much as like he doesn't need. He's been in the league 10 years. He's okay. Deshaun Williams, I think should be okay as well. So I think we're pretty healthy coming in. So, a little bit thin at receiver. Terrace Marshall's a bit of a question marks. He's been limited all week with the back thing that's been going on since Spartanburg, honestly, with him. So big day, I would think, for Adam Thielen. This year, obviously a lot focused on Hayden Hurst at a tight end position, catching the ball. So it'll be, not just the receivers, but, I think Miles Sanders out of the backfield catching the ball. So I think they're going to have some other options this year beyond just the receiver set.
Hey, so give me an idea of where this Brian Burns thing might be heading.
I think he's fine because he's, again, today, as you mentioned, fully participated in practice after sitting out on Monday and Thursday. But once it got to the main days when you practice heading into an NFL game on Sunday, he was out there, and he was in the facility all those other days, by the way, too. And then we all saw the Nick Bosa contract thing happen yesterday. So I think it'll happen. Bosa's is obviously huge, $34 million per year. Burns is making $16 million a year. So I would think he'll end up somewhere maybe in the mid-20s, and that's the range of, guys like Khalil Mack. You start bumping into Myles Garrett range because his contract's a little bit older. Obviously, he's worth more than that probably in today's economy at $25 million per year. But I would think somewhere they're probably talking somewhere like low to mid-20s. I'm sure he's wanting at least mid, if not high 20s. Like he probably would. I'm guess he's asking for like 28. They probably want to offer 22. They'll end up somewhere around 25 is my guess.
Yeah, I got you. Well, we'll see. How do you? What's your anticipation for Bryce Young's true debut?
I think he'll play the full offense. I'm sure they've not revealed the entire, what it's going to look like all year offense to him. But the part they've got, I think it'll look a little bit like what they did in that third preseason game. I don't think they're going to hold back as far as not throwing the ball. So I think I would anticipate, especially at first, probably a lot of quick passes. He is so quick at processing. The ball comes out of his hand so quickly that I would expect that. But I think, probably I'm going to guess like corner routes and out routes as far as just safe things. If he misses, it's out of bounds. They did that a lot in the preseason. And then, some safer slants where he throws it, low from the waist down so it's not going to be intercepted. And then I would think, with his feet, it's regular season time now. So if he's smart, it's how he does it. If he needs to get out of the pocket and run or, everyone's covered downfield, he's smart in the way that he sees and won't take a big hit. I don't think so. He'll run it a bit there, but he's got a great running back in Miles Sanders coming over from Philadelphia. He's 1,200 yards, Pro Bowl guy last year. So I think they're going to run the ball, and they will throw to the tight ends. That's always been a Frank Reich staple in any offense. So I would expect at least Hayden Hurst, if not some Ian Thomas, Tommy Trumbull involvement in the passing game.
Great job, Szoke. Always good to talk to you. We'll talk to you next Thursday, and hopefully see you for a moment or two on Saturday here in Greenville.
We'll come find you. We'll see you Saturday.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate
it.
Yes,
sir.
There he goes, Jim Szoke, our guy, ECU play-by-play man, and also with the Panthers Radio Network. Great to catch up with Szoke. All right, here is Dom Szoke with a 94.3 The Game Sports Update and Pirate Report, and then Rene Ingoglia from ESPN, who will be in the booth for the U on Saturday in Greenville, will join us. We'll get his perspective on Marshall, East Carolina. But right now, here's Dom.
I'm Dom Szoke with your 94.3 The Game Sports Update and Pirate Report. ECU is hosting Marshall this Saturday at 4 p.m. at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium. The Marshall Thundering Herd open up as a 3-point favorite, and the over-under sits at 43.5. East Carolina offensive coordinator Donnie Kirkpatrick talked Wednesday after practice about not letting the wide receivers' early drops create issues and is keeping their spirits high.
That's another delicate thing in that, you can't get like, God, you got to catch that ball. You got to catch that ball. I remember I had a coach that used to tell me, you got to throw that where you can catch it. And I thought, well, I knew that part of it. You know what I'm saying? Can you tell me maybe how to do that a little bit better? But you don't want to tighten them up because we did. Our best players dropped the balls, but then everybody except Justin Hardy, I think, did that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Hardy ever dropped one.
Pirate defensive coordinator Blake Harrell named some players that played a lot of defensive snaps for the first time for the Pirates. He's excited to see their growth.
We had 5 guys that were taking snaps, most snaps they've ever took in a Pirate uniform. Our 2 corners, IBM, Tymir Brown, Siobhan Revel, Taylor Jackson, that's the most he's played defensively. Mike Edwards, that's the most he's played defensively. B.J. Davis is new out there. Ra Dilworth, even Kingston McKinstry and Jordan Huff have been here. That's the most they've played. And I thought all those guys so promised that they're going to do good things for us this season, and we can count on them.
The Panthers are just days away from their regular season opener. Carolina will visit the NFC South rival Atlanta Falcons on Sunday afternoon at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The Panthers will look to open up with a win after splitting their 2 divisional games against Atlanta last season. The spread opens up at -3.5 in favor of the Falcons. Wide receiver DJ Chark and defensive end Deshaun Williams did not participate in Wednesday's practice. Elsewhere on the injury report, safety Sam Franklin Jr. and wide receivers Terrence Marshall Jr. and Adam Thielen practice in limited fashion. The Panthers have announced their team captains for the 2023 season. Rookie first-round pick Bryce Young was named a captain alongside other first-time Carolina captains Adam Thielen and Johnny Hekker. The team's returning captains are right tackle Taylor Moton, as well as linebackers Brian Burns and Shaq Thompson. Thompson leads the group as a 4-time team captain. In breaking news, UNC wide receiver Tez Walker denied eligibility appeal by the NCAA. He is now out for the season due to a rule change on multiple transfers. And the talk of football continues as we have the first kickoff of the NFL season tonight at 8:20 p.m. in Kansas City. The Chiefs are hoping for star tight end Travis Kelce to be ready to suit up. At the moment, it's a game-time decision. The spread has gone down with the uncertainty of Kelce, but the Chiefs are still 4.5 favorites with the over-under sitting at 53.5. And that'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Update. This Sports Update is brought to you by Team Boneyard, an NIL initiative directly supporting Pirate student-athletes. For info on how to join, please visit teamboneyard.org. More of the Patrick Johnson Show on the other side of this quick timeout right here on 94.3 The Game.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell.
We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business. A system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2006 and let Spain Telecom help you with your communications needs.
Pizza? Ooh.
Yes. All pineapple.
No.
What's wrong with pineapple on pizza?
I only eat pizza with pizza things.
That makes sense. Pineapple is a pizza thing.
Also makes sense. Is it though?
This tastes great.
That we agree on.
Let's agree to agree. Pepsi Zero Sugar tastes great.
Can't you just pick off the pineapple?
Sometimes you just don't know if you want to kiss him or slap him.
Ow!
Either way, he'd probably like it. The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Pirate Game Day Countdown for Busch Light outside the Town Bank Tower on Saturday, 1 o'clock. And he's a guest. So nice, we're going to have him twice this week. Rene Ingoglia, ESPN Today. He's going to pop by our game day location as well before the big matchup. So, Rene, hello to you. Thanks for doing this, and looking forward to hosting you again in Greenville.
Well, thanks for having me, PJ. You pay so well, I can never say no to you. You know.
I pay Rene with entertainment. That's how I pay Rene over the years.
And we go way back. So, it's kind of funny, just thinking about it, that we did, some radio together in Orlando years ago. and now how many times our paths have crossed in Greenville. And so I had someone tweet me or X me, whatever the heck it's called today, the other day saying it's ECU, it's East Carolina, it's not Eastern. And I actually tweeted the guy back and goes, I think I've probably done more ECU games than any other broadcaster in the nation. And that's not hyperbole. I think
Right.
I have.
Yeah.
So I have a great relationship with you guys there, and I always enjoy coming to Greenville.
We gave you a little bit of a shout out on the radio show this week for Coach Houston inside Pirate Athletics. So he was fired up, and you're going to be meeting with the coaches tomorrow for both sides, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I know getting ready for you, Rene. Is the getting ready and the preparation the best part? Because that's usually the best part for me in the game. I mean, we enjoy doing games and broadcasts, but kind of the getting ready is the thing I enjoy the most.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy getting ready. For me, it's the game because when I'm in the booth right before kickoff and just preparing, and I think I've said this before, it's the closest thing that puts me back on the field as a player, right, to be a part of it. So really, for me, it's the games. I enjoy getting ready. Listen, this is my job now. It's a full-time gig. So I get all week. I prep, and I do enjoy that. I relax. I have my coffee. My dogs are running around. I watch my game film. I take my notes. And then, we have meetings all week, production meetings, and we'll try to catch up with some of the players. And like Malcolm Gray, the SID at ECU, we talked with him this week as well. But so I actually enjoy everything, but there's really nothing better than kickoff.
Rene Ingoglia, ESPNU. He'll be the analyst for East Carolina and Marshall. Before we get into the Pirates, because we talk about them all the time, I just want to get your perspective of Marshall coming in.
Yeah, I mean, a good program, much like ECU when Charles Huff got there, kind of changing the culture. He's in his third year and, went to a bowl game last year. It's hard to tell from that Albany game last week. I mean, Albany's a decent FCS program. I think Mike Houston was right when he said they didn't show much in Marshall. Very vanilla in that game. Kind of almost cost them. I mean, but a win's a win at the end of the day. So it'll be interesting to see what Marshall team shows up here in Greenville Saturday. Now, obviously, and it's cliche, but it's true. You get those biggest jumps from week 1 to week 2. Now, Rasheen Ali, their running back, he's everything you would want in a running back. And Pirates fans know that because he got you for about 203 touchdowns a couple of years ago. So you got to stop him first and foremost. They got a good tight end that transferred in from Central Michigan, good receiver from Florida, Chuck Montgomery. They had a nice – and Cam Fancher, their quarterback, very solid. So they're a good program. This is a great test for ECU early and one that I think ECU needs to get, especially at home with App State coming up. And then you get Gardner-Webb, but then you get conference play the rest of the way. So this is an important one for ECU. And, oh, by the way, it's important for Marshall as well. This is a really good Week 2 matchup.
Yeah, it is. We'll, of course, have it beginning at 1 o'clock here on radio. 4 o'clock will be the kick, 4:02. It'll be on ESPNU nationally, so a national audience will be looking in to East Carolina and Marshall. You saw the Pirates play Michigan in Week 1, and, again, I don't know what we can tell from that. Michigan was just so crisp and so speedy and so physical. I do think the Pirates, in a lot of areas, did match Michigan's physicality. But let's get your perspective on that, Rene, and just kind of your take on the Pirates after 1 week.
Yeah, and see, and that's the issue you run into when you play the Michigans of the world, the Alabamas. They're so deep. They're so talented. They just come at you wave after wave. And then it's hard for a lot of programs to match that. I will say this. I did not believe that score was indicative of how well ECU played. I really don't. Had some calls go against them. Listen, that's the way it goes. You get the targeting call overturned for Jack Power, so he can play in this game starting in the first half, which is good. And so that's going to happen. The real bright side is that offensive line, really, it's the first time they've played together. Dustin Hall, first start as a Pirate, comes from USF. I think he was actually, I'm going to talk to him today. He was actually at Duke for a little bit as well. Because that center is a very important position. That's kind of the glue for the offensive line. That's that leader. For them not to give up a sack, I want to say between Garcia and Flynn, 29 passes, and you don't give up a sack to the number 2 ranked team in the nation with that defensive front, that's pretty damn good. So got to be really happy about that. I think Garcia and Flynn, as Mike Houston alluded to, both did some things well. Both need to clean some things up. I think this is a game where we may see them both again, and you probably will, because I think Mike wants to really know who his quarterback is going into league play, right? So we'll see. But they're both very capable. But I think if you're an ECU fan, you're very happy with that offensive line. And then the defensive front for ECU, I think, is the strength, right? The defensive line, a lot of experience coming back. So playing well. So they have the pieces. It's just, the obvious, right? You lose Holton Ahlers. He was there forever. You lose a bunch of, Keaton Mitchell. You lose some receivers. So you lost a lot of productivity from that team. But you have players that can step up. And in this game, you have to step up and keep going forward.
ESPN college football analyst Rene Ingoglia. He'll be in Greenville Saturday for East Carolina and Marshall. He's with us here on the Patrick Johnson Show. What did you see from Mason Garcia that you liked?
Well, he's big and strong and athletic. He can make all the throws. I know so there was a couple where I noticed where he didn't really step into it. And sometimes when you have a strong arm, you'll do that. Listen, when you try to do that against a fast secondary like a Michigan, they're going to get to that football, right? So there was a couple throws I thought he could have made. He could have just, stepped into the throw. Now, easier said than done, right, when you have a defense barreling down on you. But there's nothing better for a quarterback like Mason Garcia than being around those live bullets. A real game, real game speed coming at you. So, again, I think both Garcia and Flynn are going to make those adjustments from game 1 to game 2 and be a lot better. And just being able to break it down, looking at yourself on film, getting the coaching, and then getting out there weak. But, he's athletic. He can move. So I think the big thing for Mason Garcia is settling down, taking that deep breath, and just kind of understanding what the defense is trying to do. When that happens to a quarterback, the game slows down for them, and that's when they start making the plays. When you're not quite sure what the defense is trying to do, everything seems fast, and you get hurried. And it seemed at times that happened against Michigan, which, again, I get it. I understand. A lot of quarterbacks go through that. And really the same for Flynn as well. Both of these guys are just lacking meaningful snaps. And, well, guess what? They're getting them now.
Yeah, absolutely. You, of course, played the running back position in both college and the NFL. Rajay Harris back from an injury. And Rajay, I think, for this Pirate offense, at least early on, needs to be their home run hitter.
I do, too. I agree with you. I think they're going to lean on the run. I think Donnie Kirkpatrick will lean on the run with this offensive line, try to get it established, with Raji being your bell cow. But you still got Marlon Gunn there, right? And we know what he did last year. And then how about this Javius Bond? I know the coaches have been talking about him. He's kind of getting compared to Keaton Mitchell. We'll slow the roll on that a little bit. But the kid can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's dynamic out of the backfield. So I love the different backs that ECU can throw at you, right? The Rajay Harris, which is really that every down, could carry the ball 25, 30 times if you want him to. But really the way offensive coordinators and teams, they're not doing it anymore. Like I did Miami last week, the Hurricanes, they have 4 running backs that are really good. Any one of them could start and be a 20, 25 carry back. They're not going to do that. They all got about 9 carries apiece. They spread it out, kept them fresh. So I do think Rajay Harris is going to get the lion's share of the carries, but to be able to put in a Bond and a Gun, right, and change the pace is really good for the offense, and that's going to help Garcia and Flynn out too with the screen game, short pass game. So I think they're going to really lean on that offensive line. I'd like to see Shane Calhoun get involved this week as well.
Yeah, the Pirate tight end. Rene Ingoglia, ECU, and Marshall. He'll be on the call as the analyst with ESPN U in town this weekend. 4 o'clock kick for the home opener for the Pirates from Dowdy-Ficklen Stadium. We got a lot of things we could talk to you about, but we'll save some of it for the weekend. But what do you think the game comes down to on Saturday?
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on it. I think ECU has to establish the run, get that running game going, because that's a quarterback's best friend. Now, I didn't mention before, Marshall, last year had one of the top defenses in the nation statistically, fifth rushing defense in the country, 8th total defense, keeping teams under 300 yards a game, 6th in scoring defense, only gave up 16 points a game. I say that because their defensive coordinator is gone. Lance Guidry actually left Marshall to go to Tulane. Then there was some movement, ended up going to Miami. He's with the Hurricanes and did a great job with that defense last week. So you got a first-year defensive coordinator at Marshall and Jason Seymour, who comes from Georgia Tech. So although they have some pieces, it's a different defense than what they saw last year. And I think ECU can get the running game going. It's going to help them out tremendously. And, again, it's going to take some pressure off Garcia and Flynn. You get that running game going, the Raji Harrison. We can get some play-action pass going. We can get Calhoun going. You can get Josiah Hatfield going and some of the other receivers. So get that running game going. I know it's simplistic, but at its core, that's what you got to do with football. You got to win up front with your offensive and defensive lines first and foremost, and then you can go on and do kind of whatever you want. You can kind of dictate what you do if you can win at the line of scrimmage. And this is a game, I think, if you're an ECU fan, you watch up front and see on both sides of football if ECU can win at the line of scrimmage. If they do, they'll win this game.
Hey, Rene, always great to catch up with you. Look forward to seeing you in person again, and safe travels to Greenville and Pirate Nation.
You got it. See you Saturday, PJ. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rene. Good stuff there with Rene Ingoglia from ESPN. All right, well, that's going to do it for us here today. Thanks to Szoke, thanks to Rene, and thanks to Dom Kosolki in the studio. Dom, when you guys are going to be home stuffing yourself with leftover birthday cake, are you going to watch the game tonight, the NFL game?
Oh, you 100% know it. I have like 5 fantasy teams with definitely no money on it, but lots of fantasy football.
You have pride. 5 fantasy teams? Wow.
It's just fun to do some drafts.
It seems like a lot. Who do you have in the game tonight on one of your or any of your teams?
I got David Montgomery in the flex tonight. I have a couple injuries,
okay.
So David Montgomery cheering for him tonight.
Okay. All right, there you go. Well, that keeps you engaged at least, right? All right, so we will be back tomorrow with the Patrick Johnson Show. 10 o'clock, we'll be on video. So check us out there on X, YouTube, and Facebook. And we will be on radio at 6 o'clock tomorrow because Steve Logan will be occupying the space at 5. And looking forward to that. So that's all coming up tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning on Talk of the Town. Aiden Collard Festival, 7 to 9, 103.7, 96.3. Hey, have a great rest of your evening. Stay cool, and we'll see you tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon for the Patrick Johnson Show.